Our next presenters are Robert Woods and Tonio Bianca.
Thank you. Evening, everyone. Thank you, CFRI, for having us. Thank you, Robin, for working with me to put this together. My name is Tonio Bianca. This is my business partner, Robert Woods. The funny thing about this deal, it's actually the first deal we did together. It started out September 2015. I think we closed out on it actually September 2016, so just a few months back. We've done multiple deals from that since then, but this one has a soft spot in the heart, as this was the first one that we did together. We've known each other for about 15 years. I went to college. He came back recently. I know he's been in the non-performing note space for a few years, so when he moved back, I let him know that I'd be interested in getting into real estate investing, so he approached me with this deal. So it was a new development deal. The lot had actually been run over by a dump truck, so it was demolished, and then Robert actually found the lot on the MLS listed for $51,500. Quickly put it under contract after looking at comps for new construction homes in that area, which were around $295,000 is what we thought we could get for a roughly 2,100 square foot home. The cost to build, based on a builder that Robert found through just doing a Google search and reaching out to local builders, was roughly $170,000. Actually, no, $175,000 I think is what it was. So the loan cost was $175,500. There you can see a picture of the home getting close to finish. It was 2,066 square feet is what it ended up being, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, near Fern Creek and Lake Margaret was the actual corner of street where it was, down in 32806, a little southeast of downtown Orlando. Some more of the pictures of the house under construction. Obviously the one on the left is right when we first started, broke ground. The other one was the actual framing. Then here's when the completed product on the interior and the exterior turned out well, and then the final numbers on it.
Did you hire a builder for that?
All right.
So, yeah, this was an interesting deal, actually. I found a lot. Tonio's wife is my realtor, so it was a unique thing. We actually put in some offers on multiple lots. One good learning lesson there. And I had another larger scale project that I was working on with another investor on a timeshare project. So we've been interviewing high-end contractors and developers that could handle multifamily, but also had a portfolio of basically turnkey properties that they had built out across Orlando. The one that we found, I think it's at the end of this, is Davila Homes. After meeting with 4 different contractors and kind of going over what my needs and wants were and how best to work with me, which is I try to do as little as possible. I'm really good at spreadsheets, but after that I want nothing to do with the project. So we literally just got in there with the contractor. He does everything turnkey. I told him he wasn't going to have to worry about me having second thoughts about tile colors or where the cabinets were going to be picked out from, if we did soft closed hinges or not, and the appliances. So working with the contractor that way, anybody that's built a custom home knows that you're going to end up doing 1,400 different changes throughout the process. We only had 2 on this one. It was because their superintendent ordered the wrong materials, which was great because we actually ended up getting credits back at closing. And I don't know about you guys, but 2 shades off of a beige floor doesn't make a difference to me when I'm selling the house and I'm never going to occupy it. The other part with this thing is what Tonio's leaving out here. The one unique thing you guys can use in this room is being creative. We picked up the lot. I paid cash for it. So if you're looking at building a house or financing, anybody looks at rental properties, we're going to look at loan to value. We actually used Tonio's credit to do the construction contract on this for everything for a loan to perm loan or a construction to perm loan, which was really unique. I only had the money out of pocket for the lot, which you can see we paid a little over $50,000 for. We had a little bit of holding costs, which were the down payment to the construction, to the contractor. That really had to do with the septic and some other things. So we weren't really out of pocket. And then if you flip to the next slide real quick, we thought it was $295 when we were going to sell the property. Thankfully, to what's TRID, if anybody was doing any construction loans, the government slowed down our process of actually getting our loan. However, to some of our closings that happened as a surprise during the process, pumped us up about another $30,000. We ended up pulling about $66,000 in profit on it. We ended up in the project the whole time for a year. But the best part is the one thing I think Tony was going to highlight on, we had about 10 hours of work into this project between me taking him to lunch, getting him to agree to let me use his credit on this project and how much we actually interacted with the contractor. Other than those obvious, we all have the real estate projects where you want to drive by mom and dad and brother and sister and pat yourself on the back and tell everybody how good you are. Other than that, the actual project had about 10 hours into it.
Nice.
Yeah, so initial due diligence, we had a couple lots that we were looking at. This one was fantastic. The way we backstopped this deal was, could either of us afford to live in this house? Would we live in this house, and would we live in this area if the market did a downturn, which was an easy yes for both of us. Obstacle delays, our contractor had to fire his superintendent during the process of it, which actually made us a little bit more money because of the errors that he made. And the delays of that actually led to us having a higher value when we were ready to exit the deal. And other than that was communication. You know, we've got a lot of trust. It's when you're going to take hard money from somebody or work with somebody else. The basis of all this building, you know, when we talked about at the beginning, I think you opened up talking about doing ethical business and being able to trust me putting $60,000 to buy a lot for cash and title it to him, and him trusting me to use his credit to finish this deal is what speaks to, I think, a lot of us get started. You've got to be really creative and think outside the box to get some of these first deals done. So yeah, 65 grand out of pocket, a little bit over a year, we made $66,000. We had a very generous split to it. I think at the end of the day, when we look at the hours we put into this deal, I don't think anybody in this room would continue their day job if you could keep doing that on an hourly basis. If I could find 10 more of these to do every year, it would be fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Questions? Questions from the audience? Yes.
I'm new investor. I'm sorry, this is my first time here, and I was wondering, like, how do you account for that $66,000 profit? In other words, as far as taxes are concerned.
Okay, great. So as far as taxes are concerned, I bought the property with cash, but titled into our names. At the end of the day, it was over 1 year, so thankfully our capital gains gets adjusted a little bit. And then you can see my tax accountant looked at my records. I cut a check back to Tonio for what his profit share of the deal was. It's income to him. It's capital gains. He pays the taxes on that. I pay the taxes on mine. If the IRS comes, we all have our statements, and we just say. It's very black and white. But yeah, it's a capital gains income tax.
I guess that you answered my question, but I wanted to know, like, is there another certain time frame? What if you flipped it within, like, say 3 months or 6 months?
Congratulations, you've got a better annualized ROI, and go put your money back to work. But no, that's a great thing. That would be the best case scenario that we could have actually done it quicker. You just make a higher IRR. You got to talk to your accountant for the first page of that. How you guys do your taxes is your business. I haven't been audited for at least 3 years. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those funny things. It's like you never know what's going to happen or what's going to raise a red flag to it. But the worst thing is you pay extra taxes. I think at the end of the day, again, everybody in this room would be happy to complain about how much you had to pay in taxes. That's the best complaint I can have at the end of the year.
One more question?
What bank did the permanent construction to permanent, and did you find a few that did that?
So we found multiple that did it, and back to what we were talking about, relationships and trust, we met in college. We were fraternity brothers. We used another fraternity brother of ours that works at Trustco Bank locally. He actually was either on the next slide or something else if we had another one. But we used Trustco Bank and did construction to perm loan. Very easy process. The only thing that held us up was the regulations that changed with TRID. That really was the only hiccup we had in the process.
Thank you very much, Tonio and Robert.